See you next time on The Chase Australia. Hey, great job.
Bye, guys.
Tonight in 7 News, the New Zealand bubble takes off. Heartwarming scenes at Queensland airports and talks underway to include even more countries.
Action on veterans' suicide, a royal commission announced.
Lied to and threatened, the police partner of slain officer Brett Fort makes explosive claims of a toxic workplace.
The Queen and her corgis, time alone to grieve as Prince Charles prepares for higher duties.
The South East Road Network of the future, projects on the way to keep us moving as our population explodes.
And the biggest movie in Australian history, Chris Hemsworth on board for the Mad Max prequel.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharyn Ghidella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. 395 long days after our borders slammed shut, they finally reopened to New Zealand.
There were heartwarming scenes at airports in Queensland and across the country as hotel quarantine was replaced by hugs and kisses on both sides of the Tasman.
Reunited, relieved and radiating happiness. In between hugs, tears of joy and disbelief, more than a year's worth of emotion spilling over.
I just thought I might not ever see them again.
For Grandma-to-be Kimberly Jones, the Trans-Tasman bubble timed perfectly. Sisters separated for 18 months, back together.
Especially good for our mum's 90 and she's been holding out to see my sister for a very long time.
It's been almost 400 days since the border closed. In that time, parents have aged, grandchildren grown.
He's about twice the size.
Babies have been born and lives lived. There's so much to catch up on.
My daughter, I haven't seen her for 15 months. I was crying on the plane. I was so excited to see her again.
Months of not knowing when this day would come.
It's my world, my little sister.
When nothing comes close to a cuddle.
It's been horrible with the pandemic. Yeah, it's really been hard. Yeah, so...
NZ arrivals met with the haka at the Gold Coast airport. For those flying out, they arrived early and in droves, a long lineup to check in.
I'm not sure whether it'll be real until I hit soil.
2,000 passengers moving through an international terminal that's been all but empty for more than a year.
Yesterday we were lucky to have a handful of passengers, so it's huge for us.
While it's a promising start, there's still a long way to go. Pre-COVID, more than 6 million people travelled through Brisbane Airport every year. Now hopes more international travel bubbles will open soon.
We've got one open with New Zealand, we'll open up one with hopefully Singapore, maybe Japan, maybe South Korea, maybe some of the Pacific Islands will be next.
Slowly reconnecting with the rest of the world.
And 2 more flights will leave Brisbane Airport within the hour, one to Auckland, the other to Wellington, taking the daily total between Brisbane and New Zealand to 13 flights, each between 80 and 100% capacity. Pre-COVID, New Zealand was our biggest international market, with more than 1.5 million passengers arriving here every year here at the Brisbane Airport. They're hoping to return to those figures as soon as possible.
Thanks, Georgie. And now that we can travel across the ditch quarantine-free, the airlines are fighting for your dollar. We've got the list of the best bargains on offer to get you on your New Zealand getaway. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News. The AstraZeneca vaccine could be fast-tracked for Australians aged over 50. It follows mass cancellations at GPs, as the National Cabinet also considers mass vaccination centres for younger Australians.
After all the delays and cancellations at GP clinics, the Prime Minister says there's a strong argument to bring forward AstraZeneca for Australians aged over 50 and move to Phase 2A.
If there is someone over 50 who is there and wants to take that vaccine, we'll be looking at how that can be achieved.
Even though Phase 1B for over 70s is yet to be finished.
What's becoming clear is that we can actually do both.
Today marking the first of twice weekly National Cabinet meetings, but no firm decisions yet.
Very, very positive discussions. Look, everybody is on board.
More than 1.5 million Australians have been vaccinated, including more than 122,000 in Queensland, on the prospect of home quarantine for Australians returning from overseas.
I'm not going to discuss a proposal that I have not seen any details about. Our hotel quarantine has worked incredibly well to date. And of course, it would have to be the medical advice.
On a timeline for international borders reopening, Scott Morrison calling for patience.
The pandemic is raging globally. It's raging.
In order to deal with the challenge of vaccinating Australians under the age of 50 with the Pfizer vaccine, mass vaccination clinics could be set up later this year.
And that would be effectively, if we wished, a 12-week sprint.
Pharmacists are in a rush to help.
There's 431 pharmacies that have either one medical centre or no medical centre in their communities. So we're looking forward to having those activated as soon as possible.
Hoping to boost the rollout in regional and remote areas.
We just need the green light.
And the vaccines to do it. Queensland Cabinet met earlier today and the Olympics bid for Brisbane was high on the agenda. The head of Australia's Olympic Committee, John Coates, addressed Cabinet, which has now officially endorsed the bid for a 2032 Olympics. The Premier says guarantees are still needed by the federal government. Talks are underway with the Prime Minister. Anastasia Palaszczuk says there'll be more to say about the bid tomorrow.
Thank you, Marlena. After years of pressure from within the defence community, the Prime Minister has announced a Royal Commission to examine veteran suicides. In a breakthrough for suffering families, the inquiry will look at all past deaths to try to improve the mental well-being for servicemen and women.
Julianne Finney's son Dave is one of about 500 veterans of Afghanistan who've taken their own lives. Today, finally, relief.
I would love to show that we saved one life.
Her petition for a Royal Commission with 400,000 signatures paying off. With the threat of a backbench revolt within government, Scott Morrison calling a Royal Commission before one is forced on him.
And I hope it will be a healing process.
Planned to start in July, the Royal Commission will take up to 2 years investigating systemic failures to support veterans, the adequacy of health services and services to assist veterans back into the community, inquiring into a trail of despair.
Young families, widowed families, fatherless families.
The Commission will investigate why 10 times more soldiers from Afghanistan died by their own hand than on the battlefield.
Most importantly, to restore hope for those who suffered or are still suffering today.
And new Defence Minister Peter Dutton has overturned a decision to strip unit citations from all 3,000 Special Forces who served in Afghanistan, effectively pulling rank on the Chief of the Defence Force.
We can look at the individuals who have done the wrong thing, but that their actions shouldn't define the acts of bravery and the acts of valour of the vast majority.
I thank him for helping provide our veteran community with that certainty.
Only those found guilty of war crimes or sacked will now lose their medals. Mark Riley, 7 News.
A toxic workplace where a grieving Queensland police officer was lied to and threatened following the death of her colleague and mate. Brett Fort's former police partner, Senior Constable Catherine Nielsen, made the explosive claims in court today after recounting the final moments of his life.
Senior Constable Catherine Nielsen says she wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the quick thinking of her police partner, Brett Fort. Giving evidence during the second week of a coronial inquest into his murder, Senior Constable Nielsen described feeling uneasy as Ricky Madison led them on a slow-speed pursuit down a steep and narrow dirt road. It looked like a shooting gallery, and that was what it was that day. Under constant gunfire, she recalled smashing the windscreen of their rolled police car and pulling her injured partner to cover. I said to him, "Bretty, can you hear me?" His colour changed. I knew then that was it. A death she said was avoidable if they'd known about the shooter's history with weapons and earlier reports of gunfire at the site of the ambush. Of course it would have changed our decision-making. We're not stupid. Information she alleges officers at Toowoomba Tactical Action Team knew but didn't share with her department. Senior Constable Nielsen fought through tears as she described the workplace she returned to after Brett's death as toxic, claiming she was lied to and threatened because she was asking too many questions. Senior officers telling her none of them knew about gunfire, a claim she said became painfully obvious that it was not the case. One life lost, so many more changed forever. Elliot Chipper, 7 News.
A 24-year-old man has been remanded in custody accused of gunning down two men in Caboolture on Saturday afternoon. Adam Jason Bird is facing 2 counts of murder over the deaths of 23-year-old Daytona James Paul and 37-year-old Aaron Davis. Bird didn't appear when his case was mentioned in Caboolture Magistrates Court this morning. The matter has been adjourned until the end of May.
And another Caboolture man is facing an attempted murder charge, accused of driving over a woman's foot while doing burnouts. The court heard Harley Warren Nobbs admitted to police he was high on ice when he rammed through the gates of the property on Saturday night. Witnesses said the 47-year-old victim's foot was minced. Nobbs' bail application was adjourned until Wednesday.
The Queen has left Windsor Castle with her dogs a day after Prince Philip's funeral. As she grieves for her husband, senior royals are stepping up to take on more of her duties ahead of her 95th birthday.
As British flags returned to full mast, a nation ended its period of mourning for the Duke laid to rest. The Queen has been spotted in her car with her corgis in Windsor, but she'll remain away from public duty until Thursday at least, still grieving her rock of 73 years. Senior royals led by the Prince of Wales and the Princess Royal will now take on more of Her Majesty's duties, a royal roster as such that was always planned as the Queen turns 95 on Wednesday.
We have a monarchy in transition. Charles is going to take on more duties in the family. We'll have to support Her Majesty as much as possible.
Prince Harry won't be part of that leadership group after giving up royal duties this year. The Duke of Sussex is expected to leave Britain within the next 24 hours, returning to his pregnant wife and their California home. Royal insiders say this separation between the brothers was requested by Prince William, and while the pair spoke after the funeral, tensions remain.
I think it's over the coming days that we will find out whether or not his relationship with Prince William, which has been so terrible over the past year, might have taken a step towards being healed.
A royal rift, the widowed Queen wants to become a distant memory as she relies on her family to help her through her grief. In Windsor, England, Hugh Whitfeld, 7 News.
It was Sydney's turn to say goodbye to rugby league legend Tommy Raudonikis today during a public memorial service at the SCG. His family were in front row seats with former players, coaches, colleagues and fans coming together to share their stories.
Many would say his actions in wanting to win were sometimes over the top, but not us.
The Blues and Australian champion has been hailed as a saint off the field.
As Australia battles with our bungled vaccine program, the United States has reached a major milestone. More than half of eligible Americans are now inoculated against COVID-19. But there are concerns about the Johnson & Johnson shot, set to continue despite rare cases of blood clots.
Rolling out with military precision, America today reaching a milestone in its vaccine mission. 130 million shots in US arms. That's half of all eligible adults with at least one dose. The battle now convincing those still holding out.
So it's almost paradoxical that on the one hand they want to be relieved of the restrictions, but on the other hand they don't want to get vaccinated.
Not helped by concerns over the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine put on pause last week after reports of an incredibly rare side effect, blood clots in 6 women out of more than 7 million doses.
Soon as we informed them that they had taken it off the shelves, they panicked.
Not warranted, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci. He today predicted the J&J jab will make a return this week after investigation, albeit with warnings. And it's needed. Variant surges still pushing up infection rates.
I do think we will get it back in some manner or form.
Starting tomorrow, vaccine eligibility will open up to anyone aged 16 and over. The race to vaccinate still tracking at around 3 million injections a day in a country with an eye to reopening by that most sacred of American holidays.
We can have a safe and happy 4th of July with your family and friends.
but that's going to take everyone doing their part.
In the United States, David Woodward, 7 News.
Let's check on today's weather now, and Tony, there's been plenty of rain up north.
Yes, Max, the wettest part of the nation has lived up to its reputation. We've seen over 200 millimetres of rain fall around Cairns in the past day. Some spots pushing over 300 millimetres further south towards Innisfail, and that wet weather is set to hang around. We can expect more rain across the tropics right through the week, peaking around Thursday as an upper trough approaches, then easing to showers by the weekend. But in the meantime, widespread falls over 100 millimetres likely between about Cooktown and the Whitsundays. Heavier again on the north tropical coast, where a flood watch has been issued by the Bureau. Plenty happening. I'll be back soon with the forecast.
Thanks, Tony. It's set to be the biggest film ever made in Australia. Next, the blockbuster new instalment of Mad Max starring Chris Hemsworth.
Students anxious, parents feeling guilt-ridden. Just how NAPLAN is affecting Queensland families.
A community rallies in the search for a missing fisherman in Moreton Bay.
And after sport, the new app helping kids improve their maths skills before they play.
Busting Greater Brisbane's traffic congestion. The project's starting soon.
To make South East Queensland an even better place to live.
And the Sleeper project's waiting for the green light. The major road corridors of the future and the suburbs they'll impact. A special transport report on 7 News coming up.
7 News brought to you by Industry Super Funds.
Police can't help themselves. My super doesn't work out for me. I'll be working forever.
Well, we've worked all our lives for this place. We'd hate to have to sell it to fund our retirement.
That's for sure.
Authorised by B. Dean for Industry Super Australia, Melbourne.
Big Brother is going to throw us curveballs. The only thing we can do is hit it back with force.
Think you know my game. Think again.
That's my ex! Oh my
God! Welcome to my new house, Katie. I am Big Brother, and I'll see you Monday, April 26.
Get your Woolies worth with weekly specials like Sard Washing Machine Cleaner 3-in-1 2-pack, now just $4.75 each. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Discover better buys for kids at Target. Like Barbie Dream Camper, $99 save $30, Hot Wheels Stunt Garage Playset, $25 save $10, and Imaginext Batcave. Offer ends April 21. Conditions and exclusions apply. Find more better buys in-store and online.
Libre, the eau de parfum and the new eau de toilette Yves Saint Laurent.
Discover your signature scent.
At McCafe, every 6th coffee is free when you order on the My Macca's app. Buy any 5 coffees and your next one is on us. Download the My Macca's app and start earning your free coffees today.
Let me be witty, let me be forbidden in every state and city. How about let you do a double take? I don't need your money, I don't need your credit. I'm a superwoman, I let you watch me fade.
Okay, team. Up, up, easy. Left, up. Yes.
Come and get it! Oz Lotto, dishing up big Aussie fun every Tuesday.
It's an important part of the school year for many kids and one of the most stressful. Families across Queensland have revealed how NAPLAN is affecting their home life. Experts are urging parents to seek support.
NAPLAN has been the root of stress in the Lowe household over many years.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous.
The school is always well known as doing a NAPLAN, so there's always a little bit of pressure to keep the standard up.
The schools deal with the pressure appropriately. My boys are both average to above average students, so it's okay.
A new survey has revealed how much pressure NAPLAN is putting on Australian families.
There's a lot of hype around NAPLAN, which actually obscures its purpose.
58% of families surveyed say the test causes stress at home, and 69% of children suffer with anxiety.
Some of the anxiety comes from just all the talk about NAPLAN.
Almost 60% of families across the country say they've already started NAPLAN prep at home, with half of those families beginning as early as March.
They really want to have a good look at the results so that they can understand how their children are actually tracking.
Experts say hiring a tutor or seeking extra help can calm nerves.
Experience shows them what the test will look like and gives them strategies to cope with things that they may not be prepared for, like time management.
For others, it's as simple as gentle encouragement.
It's just to do the best that they can on the day.
To make learning more enjoyable for Queensland kids. Anna McGraw, 7 News.
Efforts to find boatie Trent Riley have entered a 6th day. The 26-year-old was reported missing on Wednesday when his boat was spotted off Mud Island. Search parties on jet skis, boats and kayaks were out looking again today. Members of the online fishing sensation, the Mad Hueys, joined the search.
I thought, far out, it's so sad what's happening, so I come up and tried to have a little look around.
Trent's family say they won't give up. Australia's biggest ever movie production will begin shooting in June. The Mad Max prequel, starring Chris Hemsworth, will inject $350 million into the economy.
Arriving in a movie studio golf buggy, Australia's Hollywood heavyweight actor, the legendary film director and a starstruck premiere.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Who wouldn't be pleased to be in my spot today? It's the largest film ever to be filmed here.
Here they come again. The next Mad Max blockbuster, Furiosa. This instalment starring Thor.
I'd grown up watching the films like most Australians. To be a part of it is a huge honour.
Chris Hemsworth's not saying who he's playing, but will consult with previous Maxes.
I'll give them all a call. I'll talk to Charlize, Tom Hardy, Mel Gibson.
Furiosa, a prequel to Fury Road with a twist.
This is a saga, happens over many years, but that's all I should say.
I want them back! They're my property!
After other states were outbid, filming will be in Western Sydney, country New South Wales, including Broken Hill, that hosted Road Warrior. Mad Max, a hero in a post-apocalyptic world. The government hopes he can do the same for a COVID-ravaged economy. The film tipped to inject $350 million. Instead of streamed, released in cinemas mid-2023.
Filmmakers, at least of my vintage, always wanted to be in the cinema.
Chris Mark, 7 News.
You much prefer sane, Max?
I think so. You are sane, aren't you? Yeah.
Sometimes. Looking for a getaway? The New Zealand travel bubble is here. Next, we break down the best deals to get you across the ditch.
The bizarre new sex education campaign rolling out in our schools.
One of Peter Brock's famous engines back where it belongs, at Mount Panorama.
And before weather, southeast roads all choked up. So what's the plan to bust congestion? We dig deeper.
The stars will recreate their favourite routines, but
there's a twist. 2 will go home tonight.
Will Beck win again with her cha-cha? Can Matty J recreate Chris Hemsworth's famous samba?
For one night, I get to be Thor. I don't feel sexy at all when I do that.
And will Tom's shirt come off?
I suppose everybody will just have to wait and see.
Don't miss a moment of Dancing with the Stars All-Stars. Tonight, 7:30 on 7.
There's a place for us. Somewhere a place for us. Peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us.
The Nick Scali Easter clearance is on now. Enjoy fantastic savings across selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. The Nick Scali Easter clearance on now.
Did you hear about Mikey? Had a bad accident.
Oh, no, it's no good. Isn't his wife expecting?
Yeah. But it looks like his insurance with Cbus hasn't covered.
Cbus offers super insurance options for our industry.
Wipes, what a waste. Try Garnier Micellar cleansing water with new reusable eco pads. Micelles work like a magnet to cleanse and remove up to 100% of makeup with zero daily waste. New Micellar reusable eco pads by Garnier, naturally.
Chicken and beef always hog the spotlight.
But now, it's finally pork's time to shine! With juicy Australian pork fillet, only $13.99 a kilo! Aldi Good Different!
Cracker chips are a mouth-watering snack from Arnott's. With potato baked in, cracker chips are oven roasted, never fried, for a light crunch and delicious flavour. Arnott's cracker chips, oven roasted, delicious flavour.
Queenslanders looking to take advantage of the New Zealand travel bubble won't have to pay top dollar. Whether you're after a quarantine-free holiday or heading back home, there are plenty of deals which could save you hundreds.
Across the Tasman plains are flying, so are deals. On the Gold Coast, a $1.3 million marketing campaign and a new service to Christchurch to entice tourists.
This will be tens of millions of dollars in terms of economic benefit.
Travel agents are sending them off.
People are just desperate to get away, so lots of people planning winter escapes.
Air New Zealand is offering flights from Brisbane to Auckland from $319, Christchurch from $296. Qantas flights start at $333. Jetstar has $190 fares from the Gold Coast to Auckland. Company Travel Marvel is offering $500 off a 15-day coach tour for a couple across both islands, while Ski Express has a 6-day holiday in Queenstown for $699 per person. Website Click Frenzy is holding a special travel event starting from 7 p.m. tomorrow, offering a range of accommodation and travel discounts. If you're booking a holiday across the ditch, the advice is do your research, opt for travel insurance and make sure you check cancellation policies.
Even though travel insurance doesn't cover you for absolutely everything, it still covers you for quite a bit.
A plan for changing plans. Georgia Terry, 7 News.
New lessons to teach school children about sexual consent are under fire. They've been labelled bizarre and useless and even potentially dangerous.
It's a taxpayer-funded campaign teaching our children about sexual consent using a milkshake.
Do you want to try my milkshake?
Yes, I do.
Littered with euphemisms.
Is it better than yours?
You know, I think I prefer mine.
It raises more questions than it answers.
This content is ridiculous and concerning.
But what happens when one person takes action without an agreement?
You do, huh? Well, drink it. Drink it all.
While the government says it consulted with experts, others fear sugarcoating this serious issue could do more harm than good.
I can't imagine any teacher standing up to present some of these videos and not being met with laughter across the classroom.
And that's been the reaction on social media today. It's now up to the government to explain who signed off on the campaign.
I'm sorry, Bailey. Please forgive me.
No, Veronica, I just want you to leave me alone.
The modules on consent just need to be entirely replaced. This is a serious issue. Survivors deserve for it to be treated seriously.
I'm really angry at you right now.
Sonia Marinelli, 7 News.
2 people have died after a driverless Tesla veered off the road in Texas. The Model S car crashed into a tree and burst into flames. The two men were sitting in the front passenger and back seats. Tesla is now facing increased scrutiny over the safety of its self-driving system.
US President Joe Biden has weighed in on the treatment of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. The Russian opposition leader has been on a hunger strike for 3 weeks. There are now grave fears for his life. The US is warning there will be consequences for Russia if he dies in jail. Navalny's supporters are reportedly organising the largest mass demonstration in Russian history later this week.
A Darling Downs man has completed a hot lap for history, taking an engine raced by Peter Brock back to Mount Panorama. His replica Tirana could be destined for a museum.
The last time this happened, bread cost 24 cents, there was a Cold War, and Peter Brock was king of the mountain. Panorama 1976, Brocky, like Bradman, Farlap, was roaring into the Australian legend. His Tirana was sold, the engine vanished until it turned up, smothered in glue, in a Darling Downs garage.
I just tapped it with a hammer, the old light cracked.
Revealing a secret engine number, solving a 45-year-old motor racing mystery.
Something that really took me by surprise.
Rodney Bowen recreated Peter Brock's Tirana, nuts, bolts, the gearbox, roll cage.
I built it all off a photo.
And lots of friends.
Everything was done in my own shed at home. So if you set your mind to it, you can build anything.
Rodney putted the Tirana down the Pacific Highway, 14 hours from the Darling Downs to Bathurst with a mechanic.
Just to be here and with the car on this track this day.
To do this.
Just to drive it, mate, yeah. And with that thing, it's just an animal.
Destined, if Rodney has his way, to be put on blocks.
It's a piece of iconic history.
And put on show, never to be driven again. Erin Edwards, 7 News.
He's 101 years old with a remarkable story to tell. We sit down with a Queensland veteran as Anzac Day draws closer.
Aussie scientists discover the best diet for a healthy heart that can even reverse genetic risk.
The new tool to block children's apps while helping them learn.
And the stolen Big Bird costume that has its owners in a flat.
All day, every day, we need to know.
When we care for each other.
Families reunited arm in arm.
When we strive to make things better.
With bravery, the diver hauls the nets away.
When we feel at risk.
Once again on high alert.
It's good to know there's someone gathering the facts, no matter what.
Doesn't stop, does it? No, it doesn't.
So you know what's happening. Because knowing empowers us.
Beginning to welcome flights back.
Knowing helps us decide what's next.
Knowing matters.
To know the news.
Join us for 7 News at 6.
In 7 days, enter my new house.
Bring it on.
I am Big Brother. I'll see you April 26.
On 7.
Right now, NAB's 2-year fixed rate home loan is our lowest fixed rate ever. That means our customers get more clarity around their home loan so they can get on with life. Because what is money for, if not for a home? NAB, more than money.
Great car wash, boys. Oh, but last time...
It's for the club.
Yeah, but fellas, it's like when I get my Toyota service, it's just one low price, doesn't change for 5 years.
Inflation.
I'm still feeling it.
Nothing spoils that Toyota value feeling, and you can book your capped price service through the My Toyota app. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Fabulously clean, fabulously fresh. Fab.
My father opened a shop in 1928, I think, or thereabouts. Trevor's looking after it now for me.
It certainly is very much in my blood. There's a real community. People know who their neighbours are. People were being awoken by sirens, the smell of fire.
And you knock on the door at about 5 o'clock in the morning, your shop's on fire. It was a terrible shock to me that day.
We really had a real responsibility to try and put that store back. We had offers from all sorts of people. They were right behind us.
I remember Jen Swan. She was sitting across at the pub having a drink. She said, "The world's right again. Freddo's Nigio is back."
Oh, it's a little small. See that cloudy eye and droopy fins? Probably not. But John West does, making this one a definite no. It's what John West rejects that makes John West the best.
That's amazing. I got it.
Thank her for always being there with new Pandora jewellery.
Has your life been turned upside down by a work accident? Talk to Australia's #1 law firm. Morris Blackburn Lawyers will maximise your claim so you can get on with your life again. Call us now. It costs nothing to know where you stand.
She's back.
Why can't I get a man like that?
You will, really? No, but I'm your mother. What am I supposed to say?
Brand new Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Hello.
Tonight.
Time now for a check on the markets with finance editor Gemma Acton.
Thank you. The ASX 200 managed to set a new 13-month high today, but barely, closing just 2 points higher at 7,066. It was a choppy day of trading with metals recycling company Sims top of the leaderboard. That's after it raised its profit outlook. Meantime, Zipco was among the technology companies leading the index lower. The Aussie dollar is treading water just below 77.5 US cents, while gold is marching closer towards $1,800. And as the pandemic's impact on our lives gradually fades, online sales are also slowing, but only slightly. The channel now accounts for more than 9% of total retail sales.
Australia is preparing to once again gather to mark Anzac Day after COVID put a pause on public commemorations. The missing year highlights the importance of capturing and honouring the stories of ageing soldiers as their numbers continue to fall.
Stan Mellick's war memories exist in verse.
Old soldiers, fallen trees of a hard winter.
In World War II, he was a soldier, but also a poet.
Nodding, staring, gasping.
His lasting contribution to the conflict, words that capture those terrifying, unseen moments.
It's a challenge to write a poem because you have to capture almost the inexpressible.
His inexpressible experiences happened in Papua New Guinea as a young officer, enduring the unceasing advance of the Japanese.
But the Japanese bombed us just about every night. When bombs were falling, you're more curious about where they're going to fall and hoping one wouldn't fall on you.
Mercifully, one did not, allowing him to return home to Brisbane and life as a pharmacist and then Doctor of Literature, and more than 70 years in the RSL. Each year, Stan marks Anzac Day at a service here at St Andrew's War Memorial Hospital. In 2020, he was to attend as a newly reached centenarian, but the pandemic put an end to that. This year, he'll be back as a 101-year-old, eager as ever to honour his lost mates.
It's always with you. Always with you.
Stan is confident he has a few more Anzac Days in him, but when his time does come, his words and memories will endure.
One old soldier asked the nurse, "Are the horses fed and watered?" She answered, "Yes."
Joel Dry, 7 News.
A Mediterranean diet could be the key to overcoming genetic heart disease, according to Deakin University researchers. Over 8 years, they studied 77,000 adults aged between 40 and 69. The researchers found eating a diet full of fruit, vegetables, seafood and whole grains dramatically reduces the risk of a heart attack.
Feathers are flying over the theft of Sesame Street's Big Bird costume. It's big, of course, bright yellow, and went missing from a circus in central Adelaide overnight. But the thief left some clues.
There was quite a few feathers on the ground going down towards Port Road, so we're hoping that some of the businesses
across the road and that, their cameras are going to assist us with this.
The costume is worth a staggering $160,000, so there's no backup. Some of the southeast's major arterials often look more like parking lots. The road network a choking point. So what's being done about it? The project's in the pipeline to beat congestion. We dig deeper ahead on 7 News.
Let's dig a little deeper into sport now with Webby.
Thank you, Sharyn. Hello, everyone. Coming up, will Anthony Milford return to Broncos training? The Cowboys poaching raid, which shark is in their sights? Motorsport and mayhem. Aussies caught up in track turbulence across 3 categories and 2 continents. Plus, air raids and tirades as upsets dominate a dramatic day on the World Surf Tour.
It's that missing girl, isn't it? You think it might be him again?
For 20 years I've been chasing this ghost.
This year's new killer thriller.
Did you see someone?
Everyone's secrets will surface.
We won't be free of this until you find him.
What if I already know who he is? What if I just can't see it?
New Reckoning, coming to 7.
Ever since I've retired from basketball, I've never been busier. You said bet? There's a lot you can do in a few seconds, even with just one hand. I never miss having a bet on Friday Night Footy. Sunday football, 10 legs, same game multi. Glory, glory to Sunday. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's the one. Good night, ladies.
It's Shaq and Hughes in about any time, anywhere with the PointsBet app.
Leave no flavor unexplored. Discover new vanilla caramel brownie from Connoisseur.
Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus combines their award-winning healthy meal delivery service with their new app to help you achieve your weight loss goals sooner.
If I can do it, anyone can. It's probably the easiest thing that you can do to help yourself be healthier.
Jump online today.
Is that your dog?
It's the neighbour's dog. Will my insurance cover this?
Budget Direct would have provided you with temporary accommodation for up to a year while they repaired it.
Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Get your Woolies worth with weekly specials like Sard Washing Machine Cleaner 3-in-1 2-pack, now just $4.75 each. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Did somebody say that you love
me? Get delivery like a G. See, hungry dogs gotta eat. I get mines every day, every week. Chicken wings to the crib, I'm sitting in. Tacos to the chateau, please. Did somebody say that you love? Private jetting in the night sky. My man hand glide by with my fried rice. Ride, M-E-N-U-L-O-G.
Did somebody say that you love?
And then we're going to a day spa.
Very nice. And you haven't even asked for any money lately, kiddo.
All good money bags. The CommBank app does all my budgety stuff now. Keeps me on track.
Sounds like an app vantage.
Yeah, very advantageous.
App vantage us.
I can't deal.
The app that tracks, budgets and predicts. That's an app vantage.
Seven News can reveal the Cowboys are chasing Chad Townsend as their marquee halfback from next season. They're hoping to use the money from Michael Morgan's retirement to poach the experienced Shark star.
The Cowboys are looking at signing the Sharks veteran for 3+ years.
First 4-pointer of the night goes to Chad Townsend.
Hoping to pair him alongside Broncos half Tom Dearden next season. It would provide the 20-year-old an experienced hand to guide his career. Townsend's effectively off contract with Cronulla at the end of this year. The Cowboys have lost interest in Anthony Milford, who was in civilian clothes for Broncos training. His return to the NRL weeks away. But he has a Magpies graduate inside Red Hill.
I just said have fun, mate, enjoy it. You know, my first game back there in round one, it was the most fun I've had playing footy for a long time.
Oates spent 5 weeks out of the Broncos' top 17 before making an impressive return against the Panthers.
It's pretty degrading, you know, not getting picked in the NRL team. You know, I guess I've been doing it for a while, and it's hard.
He's backing the $1 million 5/8 to follow his path.
A Milford that's having fun and in form, it's a pretty scary one, and you know, I just want him to go back, have some fun, and I'm sure he'll be back in the team.
The Titans, though, could have multiple team changes after their poor loss to the Sea Eagles.
What we put together was pretty poor. I think they just had more intent and purpose with and without the ball. We probably just thought, you know, it was gonna happen, I guess.
To make matters worse, they've lost Tino Fasua-Malawi for a fortnight after this shoulder charge. And the who's who of rugby league has farewelled the legendary Tommy Raudonikis at the Sydney Cricket Ground today, celebrating a life truly lived. Chris Gary, 7 News.
The Reds have vowed to play the perfect season despite this weekend's result having no bearing on their year. Back at Ballymore after a bye, it was hardly a week off with 20 players running out for their clubs. A peek inside their mindset ahead of the Four showdown with grand final hosting rights already locked in.
We don't want to lose in this Queensland jersey, so, you know, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people giving us, you know, reasons to switch off, but this group's hard-willed and this week all we're going to do is focus on that clinical accuracy.
The Force will be desperate. A win secures them a final spot. The biggest sport on the planet's under siege from within, labelled the War on Football, an invite-only Super League soccer comp, which includes England's 6 powerhouse clubs, has outraged fans and champion players, insisting the greedy breakaway will kill the world game.
This mutiny dwarfs rugby league civil war from the 90s, a rebel competition threatening the core of a virtual religion to millions.
It's been damned, and rightly so. I'm disgusted, absolutely disgusted. It's criminal. It's a criminal act against football fans in this country.
England's Big Six, Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal, plus 3 each from Spain and Italy. The world's richest clubs with the world's richest players pledging to join a 20-team league, paid almost $5.5 billion just as a sign-on fee. The biggest blow, FIFA barring players from the World Cup.
Why do they need to feel like they need to create a Super League for the ultimate champions? It's just all about money.
Soccer didn't have a mortgage on heated exchanges. George Russell and Valtteri Bottas blaming each other for this high-speed F1 crash at Imola.
What the was he doing? Honestly, is he a for what?
Aussie Daniel Ricciardo finished 6th behind former Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen. Across the Atlantic, Scott McLaughlin narrowly avoided first-lap chaos in the IndyCar season opener. The Supercars champ finished 14th. Queenslander Will Power a close 2nd behind first-time winner Alex Palau. Pain in Portugal started with fireballs in the support races, then for Townsville's Jack Miller in the MotoGP.
It's a Ducati of Miller. It's Jack Miller. Miller's gone down. The nightmare continues for the Australian.
6-time world champ Marc Marquez returned from a broken arm. He finished 7th behind Frenchman Fabio Quartararo. Ben Davis, 7 News.
Boilovers and blow-ups have dominated a stunning day at the World Surfing Tour on Sydney's northern beaches. The ride of the day belonged to Gabriela Medina, who took to the air at Narrabeen.
He finds a bigger ramp. This no! Goes full rotation. Gabriel Medina jumped a school bus.
In the round of 16, reigning world champ Idolo Ferreira did the same, but judges said he didn't land it clean, unlike when he was back in the boardroom, bowing out to Connor Coffin. In the women's, Aussie Tyler Wright was upset by Joanne Defay with an 8-point wave. Last night, our stars of track and field were still buzzing after Olympic selection. None more than Jai Edwards, still trying to comprehend what he'd just done in the 1500. Without a Tokyo qualifier, the 23-year-old had to chase down and beat the already selected Stuart McSwain, national record holder and world class. With 100 metres to go, he found the extra gear.
That's unbelievable. Unreal.
It's just all happened so quickly. I feel so out of place, really. Just all the stars around me, there's some phenomenal athletes here.
Jai reminding us what sport is all about. And didn't he just do that?
He did. Exciting times ahead for him.
Definitely.
Right. Thank you, Webby. A new app is set to help parents make sure learning comes first.
Designed by an Aussie couple, it asks children to answer maths questions before they can unlock their favourite apps, improving their school marks as they enjoy some screen time.
At Isaac and Anne's place...
Why? Again? You're always on that.
Downtime usually means screen time.
Probably Snapchat and Instagram.
Their daughter's obsession became their inspiration.
What if we built an app that required our daughter to answer a question, a times table question, before she can get onto another app?
They did. It's called One Question, and that's basically how it works.
It really is that simple. Download, tell what you want to learn, and what apps you want to target. Every time they want to fire up that app, first they need to answer a curriculum correct question.
Emily's in grade 6. She's been using the app for the past 2 months.
My maths has improved a lot. I noticed it at school.
There are 12,000 equations to solve. Parents and carers control the difficulty and have their own app to track progress.
It's automatic revision and it's happening, without her even thinking about it.
And maths is just the start for this app. It'll soon incorporate other subjects from English to science and history. A win-win for families, considering Aussie kids are spending on average close to 4 hours a day on their devices.
We want to be able to make screen time productive, to let anyone learn anything.
One question at a time. Tom Hartley, 7 News.
Are you sick of being stuck in traffic? Right across the southeast, our road network is struggling. So what's the plan to ease congestion?
And at the moment, it's 20 degrees in Ipswich. We're in for a late burst of summer this week. I'll have the forecast coming up next. The Grenfell Inferno. Could it still happen in Queensland?
It's only a matter of minutes where some of these buildings can go up in flames.
What's being done about flammable cladding? Who's still at risk?
Probably doesn't go far enough.
And the Queenslander with a world-first fire-safe solution. 7 News at 6.
Is it justice you're looking for, or is it revenge?
Your life's in my hands now.
I'm scared, Tori. There's something really wrong.
I'm going to stop you from hurting anyone else ever again.
Someone must have seen them.
Just stop and think about what you're doing! Home and Away, this week at 7 on 7.
Ever since I retired from basketball, I've never been busier. You say bet? There's a lot you can do in a few seconds, even with just one hand. I never miss having a bet on Friday Night Footy. Sunday football, 10 legs, same game multi. Glory, glory to Sunday. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's the one. Good night, ladies.
It's shocking easy to bet anytime, anywhere with the PointsBet app.
There are those out there who value their homes a little differently. At Macquarie, we call them good borrowers. They understand a home loan helps them progress in life and doesn't stop them from living it. If you look at your home in the same way, we'd like to welcome you into ours. So you can say, I bank with Macquarie, the home of good borrowers.
Okay, kids, what Weet-Bix Better Brekkie are we making today?
Let's do fruit snacks.
Crumble a Weet-Bix in the glass, then add yogurt and some fruit.
It's good.
Get more Better Brekkie ideas at weet-bix.com.au.
I'll have a strong, smooth, creamy latte.
Be your own barista at Coles Express. With award-winning Coles Urban coffee culture from just $1. Express yourself at Coles Express.
Create a mess. Create a splash. Create whatever that is. Create from 9 to 5 or late into the night. Create until it's just right. Create for someone else or no one else but you. Never stop creating. It's what you were born to do. Officeworks, helping you make bigger things happen.
The Nick Scali Easter clearance is on now. Enjoy fantastic savings across selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. The Nick Scali Easter clearance on now.
Being back at school can be very different for the 1 in 6 Australian children living in poverty. Please sponsor an Australian child and give them the extra learning support to catch up, keep up and flourish. Search the Smith family.
Right now, incredible Queensland adventures are
good to go. With flexible booking options like 7 nights at Ridges Esplanade Resort Cairns from just $599 per person twin share. Book now at myqueensland.com.au.
Libre, the eau de parfum and the new eau de toilette Yves Saint Laurent.
Discover your signature scent.
From the Gold Coast to the Sunshine Coast and through Brisbane, roads across the southeast are at choking point. So exactly what's being done to bust congestion across our transport network? 7 News has dug deeper to find out.
Glittering shores, rising infrastructure, a relaxed lifestyle, the allure of the Sunshine State.
We're now expecting 75,000 people to come to the southeast Queensland region every year over the next 25 years.
And while we've identified new home sites like the Caboolture West satellite city, how are those people going to move around on a road network already grinding to gridlock?
I most certainly do think the transportation network is at capacity.
Major works already underway include M1 upgrades from 8 Mile Plains to Daisy Hill and Varsity Lakes to Tugun. The Ipswich motorway upgrade is due for completion in the next 2 months, as is the Bruce Highway upgrade from Caloundra Road to the Sunshine Motorway. Are you confident in the timeline of those projects? Are they happening quickly enough?
Yeah, well, look, we've got a record $26.9 billion commitment over the next 4 years across the state, and a fair proportion of that is in southeast Queensland.
The state government also working to fast-track Stage 4 of the light rail, linking Burleigh Heads to Coolangatta and the airport. Construction on Stage 3 will start this year, but...
Number one congestion fix for the GC, the Coomera connector. We'll get that local traffic off the Pacific Motorway and alleviate that congestion for all those commuters.
Looking further ahead, there are plans but no funding for a series of new road corridors. The North West Transport Corridor starts near Gympie Road and Strathpine Station and continues south through Bridgeman Downs, McDowell and Everton Park to connect with Alderley Station and Shan Street in Alderley. The Moggle-Warrego Highway connection would run from the Centenary Highway at Fig Tree Pocket to the Warrego Highway at North Tivoli, passing through Kenmore, Pullenvale, Anstead and Carolee. The Goodna Bypass connecting the Ipswich motorway at Dinmore to the Cunningham Highway at Gales via Riverview, Redbank Peninsula, Moggle and Wacol, and the Western Ipswich bypass between the Warrego Highway at Hagesley through Walloon and Amberley to the Cunningham Highway at Willowbank.
What we need to do is look at those projects that have been earmarked for some time and get them moving.
Of course, there's also the $5.4 billion Cross River Rail project set to transform how we travel, but still years away.
It needs to be an economic plan, a transportation plan, a lifestyle plan and an urban system plan, all coming together
to ensure the southeast doesn't lose its laid-back charm. Emily Arnold, 7 News.
Weather now, and Tony, we're warming up again.
Yes, Max, to go with this blue sky, temperatures starting to bump up again. Now today, plenty of sunshine, low humidity, light winds and temperatures just a touch warmer than yesterday. Brisbane reached a top of 27 degrees, Greenbank 26, Redcliffe a touch cooler on 24. To the satellite, sunny skies over southern Queensland here, but a different story up north. This trough here has brought some heavy rain, falls of 200 to 300 millimetres on the north tropical coast so far. And tomorrow that rain will continue in the tropics and it should last through much of the week up there. Warmer again in the southeast as a high moves offshore. That'll cause winds to turn northerly, and elsewhere a cold front slams into southeastern states. That will bring some wet weather, showers and rain on the way for Adelaide, showers and hail for Melbourne and also Hobart. Now back to northern Queensland. That rain should become a little lighter but more widespread than today, continuing through the week. As I've mentioned, a flood watch current for the north tropical coast. Rain most likely in Cairns and Townsville tomorrow, just an outside chance of a shower in Mackay. Heading south, a very different story. Dry air, sunny skies, another cool night, not quite cold enough for frost though. Rockhampton 30, Gladstone 28. Across the southeast, some early fog, then another mostly sunny day to follow. A touch warmer than today as those winds swing around to the north. Ipswich 11 up to 29 degrees, 27 on the Gold Coast. Across the suburbs, nighttime temperatures also warming up a degree or so. Oxley tracking for 28 degrees, 13 up to 28. Ferny Grove, well, 27. Boaties, light winds early. They'll swing to the north-northwest in the afternoon, but watch for a bump to 20 knots late in the day. So in Brisbane, sunshine on the way, just some possible early fog, 15 up to 28 degrees. And looking further ahead, bumps up to 30 degrees on Wednesday. A little late burst of summer, probably the last one until August or September. Looking further ahead to Anzac Day on Sunday, looking dry. A mild morning, 14 degrees if you are up early to light up the dawn. In Ipswich, 31 degrees Wednesday, cooler and cloudy into Thursday. Sunshine returning on Friday. Gold Coasters up to 29 degrees on Wednesday, then cooler back to 26 with that cloud on Thursday. And onto the Sunshine Coast. Could see a little bit of light rain off the tail end of that cloud on Thursday, 26 degrees, but before then, warming up and plenty of sunshine.
Thanks, Tony, and that's all from us this Monday.
From all the team, good night.
Good night.